All right, hi everybody. Welcome back to Wisconsin Weather Experts on a very chilly Thursday here in Milwaukee and across much of the state. It's sunny, but it's cold.
Yeah, but then it's like a psych, you know, like the old
absolutely.
joke the kids used to pull, me. You look out there, or you're standing in your, your kitchen with your big picture window, and it looks great, and the sun's beaming in, and you maybe even feel the heat through the window. But you step outside, and it's like, whoa, back in for an extra coat and a couple of hats for sure. Oh, that's really cool.
There you go.
Almost looks like we had a rocket launch off in the distance there. The smokestack, of course, the cold air. Hard to actually take a picture of cold air. You have to see the effects of it, but you look at that, and I think you can kind of tell it's a bit of a chilly day out there for sure. So that's where we start our weather news roundup for the day. We'll start off talking about how you can actually avoid this cold if you need a place to stay warm overnight. There are a number of warming shelters available across our area right now. The Guest House Milwaukee on 13th Street is open for men. Unity Lutheran Church on Oklahoma and Repairs of the Breach on Valete are open for single adults. The Milwaukee Rescue Mission also services men, and there's also Joy House on 19th Street, which welcomes women and families. Plus, we've got St. Ben's Parish on State Street, open to singles. Of all these are open from 7 p.m. until 7 a.m. as we head into another cold night.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And we're not alone in this cold, brutal cold all over the Chicago area today as well. Now, it's, of course, dangerous for anybody, but particularly if you were going to be walking or taking the train or the bus. Think of Chicago. That's,
That's pretty common, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of
what
you do.
Down there.
Yeah, so not only do you have to worry about thoroughly bundling up, but also beware of the snow on the ground, as we know this as well. It is solid ice.
Yeah,
now that looks like a cold scene from Chicago.
Yeah, that is definitely a chilly shot right there.
All frozen.
But here's somebody who's living their best life. Yeah.
Leave it to the pups.
This is a Louisville pup named Honey. Could not get enough of this week's fresh snowfall. Her owner catching the pup on camera, bouncing and zooming around, absolutely soaking up every frosty second. National Weather Service there says Louisville picked up about 4 inches of snow this week, with chilly conditions continuing through the weekend.
Now let's head out to Arizona. Check this out. This is in Flagstaff, Arizona.
Wow, what a picture.
Beautiful, where snow is coming down. So this is video from about 10:30, I believe, either this morning or yesterday morning.
I believe it was this morning.
This morning, okay. A good amount coming down in this video, not really sticking to the ground though. Officials are still warning drivers about the possibility of slick roads as well as low visibility.
I feel like this show has really opened people's eyes to the climate of Arizona.
Yes.
Our partners down there, Fox 10, are great. They're very weather obsessed, I will say.
Yeah.
And they send us tons of video that we get to use on this show. And, through the course of the last few months, we've shown everything from flooding, which when you think of Arizona, you probably don't think of. We've shown snow, which again, your first thought is probably a hot desert, think of snow. So I think we've really educated our audience here, and a lot of them are probably snowbirds that have either aspired to or have been off to Arizona, at least for a few visits.
A lot of those southwestern states, we think of California, they have beautiful weather, but they also have all types of weather at different parts of the states, different elevations. A lot of those southwestern states are like that too. They have higher elevations. So yes, it could be really hot in Phoenix, but you get north to Flagstaff and it's snowing.
Yeah, just like the rest of the country thinks winter is constantly here in Wisconsin.
It is.
It's not. We have beautiful summers as well. We often, come up with our own weather concepts of different states. But yeah, it's much more variable in the Southwest than a lot of people think. All right, well, here's a great way to deal with a weather alert. It's a Yarbo.
What?
What now, hey? It's a self-driving snowblower. This sounds like a great idea.
I like
So
this.
it's just taking care of the driveway. This is in Monument, Colorado. It's a town north of Colorado Springs, which is a beautiful little town that's south of Denver. The National Weather Service warning people to prepare for up to 9 inches of snow in that area. I love this.
Wow.
This is great because unlike my remote control driveway clearing machine, which is named Noah, I don't have to drag it out of bed.
This is not human.
Right. To be fair, mine is fueled on frozen burritos, and this one probably takes gas, but still.
And free rent, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Call that out.
It looks like it's pretty good, though. I mean, it's like the Roomba for driveway
I
snow.
didn't know this was a thing. I'm going to have to do some digging.
Yeah, I feel like over the years people have tried this and it's never really worked out, but this one seems to monster through that. Yeah. That's got to be, what, 6-7 inches of snow?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
All right.
A yarbo.
A yarbo.
Let's Google that,
Add
everybody.
it to the wish list, right?
All right, well, moving on now. A dramatic video of NYPD officers plunging into freezing water to save a man. So the footage from Sunday shows them helping a man who was struggling in the waters off of Pier 2 in Brooklyn Bridge Park. The members of the harbor unit were able to pull him to safety, thankfully. The man was taken to the hospital in stable condition. Very, very scary.
How cold that water is as well. It's great that it has a happy ending there. Some very dramatic video indeed. All right, so a seasonal phenomenon is going on right now, and it's drenching California's Bay Area, the so-called king tides, which we've been hearing a lot about lately. They're crashing in along the San Francisco area. These waves are said to be the highest of the year, occurring when the sun, moon, and the earth all align, which is happening today, creating a strong gravitational pull. That gravitational pull then brings in the big waves, along with the waves of people, of course, flocking to the coast to actually catch a glimpse. The king tides expected to continue right on through the week.
Now that's really interesting because I remember, was it last month or maybe it was October, the East Coast was dealing with the king tides, and I know Florida dealt with a lot of flooding because of that. It's
amazing to think about the impact that our natural satellite, the moon, has on the Earth. The tide, of course, is because of that. And then when you get that alignment, you get these king tides. And then sometimes when you combine that with storms like we had on the East Coast, that's just a perfect storm that was really problematic. It had some huge impacts there, and obviously you saw some pretty big waves on the West Coast. We don't have waves.
No.
We have cold and lots and lots of cold.
We do. I figured we might as well start with this, right? Because look at that, Milwaukee and Wisconsin, right in the bullseye of the coldest air across the country right now. It really is a cold day here in Milwaukee. It's only 16 degrees right now. That's interesting, though, because the record coldest high temperature for today in Milwaukee is 17 degrees. So if we continue warming, we'll be out of the run for maybe tying or breaking that record. But if we were, to stay at 16 for a few more hours and then drop, we would actually break a new record today in Milwaukee. And not the high, hot temperatures that we think of when we talk about record high temperatures. It's actually the opposite, one of the coldest highs recorded on this day. But even down to St. Louis, out west to the Dakotas, it is cold. And I mean, relatively speaking here, to see 40s in Dallas and especially Houston, that is much colder than average. Now the forecast highs stay pretty similar. Again, you can tell that areas out towards the west will warm a little bit more, but those of us here in the Great Lakes region going to stay cold today. And again, this cold air is from the East Coast all the way south into Texas and then all the way to the Pacific Northwest. LA's high temperature of 71 may even be a little below average for this time of year. So we've all settled into a cold day, a cold Thursday across the country. Looking more closely at Wisconsin, everybody expecting to stay in the teens. In fact, some northernmost parts of our state could actually stay in the single digits, somewhat similar to Duluth with that forecast high of 9. But again, our forecast here in Milwaukee to stay around 16, maybe warm a degree or two more throughout the afternoon, but really not expecting much. Now, when it comes to feel like temperatures, sorry, that should say feel like, not heat index, we are going to stay in the single digits today, but this evening we are going to likely drop right back below zero for, again, feel like temperatures, not air temperatures. So another cold night tonight. Notice though, feel like temperatures tomorrow, despite air temps climbing back into the 20s, still going to be in the teens, which is better than today, but the wind is going to pick up on Friday. So even though our air temperatures across the state will actually be warmer than today, our wind chills are still going to be about 10 degrees cooler because we'll have more of a breeze. And then notice again throughout the weekend, kind of similar conditions expected. When it comes to air temperatures, today is going to be the coldest day, though we'll drop again on Sunday close, to those low 20s. But Friday into Saturday, we see a little bit of a jump in temperatures, still about 15 degrees below average. We'll really get closer to average by early and mid portions of next week as we see the chance for some 30-degree high temperatures. Even that is a little below though. So we have had a really long stretch of below average temperatures as of late. And even though we're going to warm in quotations a little bit the next couple of days, that is still very below where we should be for this time of year. Thankfully, today's sunshine, or today's cold, comes with sunshine. We've got a high pressure system right around our area. It is a bit more active down towards the south, up through New England states. We've got a system out towards the west, and this warm front's what's going to allow some slightly warmer temperatures tomorrow. And then you can see the Pacific Northwest dealing with the system too, with some rain as well as some snow mix. Snow heading on into Montana as well as southern Canada. And then active again towards the lower Mississippi Valley with some wintry mix, Missouri on into northern Arkansas, and then just some steadier rainfall as you get closer to the Gulf and into the southeast, places like Georgia as well as Florida. And then up to New England states, there's still plenty of snow going strong. They've seen a lot of accumulation in the last couple of days. I know even my niece and nephew in Ohio had a snow day yesterday, thanks to, I believe, about 5 inches of snowfall. For them, they're a bit more rural though, so it does make a difference, right? But the kiddos, I'm sure, enjoying all the snow that we've had as of late. Now, with that system out towards the west, there are a lot of spots under winter weather headlines. In fact, quite a few areas under winter storm watches, as well as winter storm warnings. And then closer to the East Coast too, because of that ongoing snow off of the lake in portions of New York, still under winter weather advisories, as well as down towards the south for that chance for a little bit of wintry mix. Now, back closer to home, today will still be our sunny day, but we will start to see some changes for Friday. Increasing cloud cover overnight tonight as well as Friday morning, more of a southwest wind that picks up. And we have the chance, especially across northern Wisconsin, to see some light snow tomorrow afternoon and evening. But even those of us towards southern Wisconsin could see a few light snow showers as well. And then the bulk of Saturday, looking dry. We'll see a little bit more sunshine, and again, that's statewide, but we'll have to watch for another round of snow. This one may be a little heavier, but nothing compared to what we saw last weekend. Late Saturday night on into at least the first half of Sunday. It is possible we pick up a bit of accumulation from that. Right now, it looks like maybe a couple of inches. So again, nothing like last weekend, but it is yet another chance for some snow here locally. Let's take a look around the state. We haven't done this in a while. We're going to start up in Rhinelander for the remainder of today. Temperature is going to be the big story, going to stay very chilly with those highs only in the low teens, if not even upper single digits. Similar for Wausau, as the day goes on, those temperatures are going to continue to drop, and they'll see a little bit more cloud cover as well. Out to Eau Claire, you can see those teens. That is the story across the state. Eventually, we will see that wind picking up too, so wind chills once again overnight tonight, still going to drop below zero. Oh, and this one hasn't been updated in a very long time, so we'll just pass through Milwaukee. We can dream of those temperatures, right? But my guess is that was from the summertime. It's been a bit, right? Out to Madison, same story. Sorry, those temperatures are not updated. So we'll go to La Crosse. That's a little bit more like it, right? Teens across the state. A little bit of sunshine still, but as we head into our evening hours, that's when we'll see clouds increasing and the wind picking up, and that's all thanks to that warm front that's on its way on through our area.
Very exciting stuff. Thanks for all of the roundup there. And now we're going to take you out to the state capitol tree lighting. I believe we've got some carolers and singers going there right now. This is the annual state capitol holiday tree lighting celebration. Of course, it is just kicked off at the noon hour in the rotunda of the Wisconsin State Capitol. Theme of this year's Wisconsin State Capitol holiday tree is the learning tree.
Nice. Love the carolers that you can see at this point in time, bundled very nicely.
Some very nice hats. Look like a couple of them might be home knit, like that. So this is to wrap up the 2025 year of the kid and celebrate all those who make learning possible and fun. So this tree lighting ceremony kicked off officially at noon. We didn't dip in right away because it was mostly just people talking.
Yeah, we can skip that.
We waited for the awesome carolers and, of course, for the actual tree itself. We've got a little bit more in the next segment, actually. A little later on in the show about trees and kind of the history of Christmas trees and Christmas tree farming, which is a whole industry that you may see when you drive by one, but you don't really think about it. It's a 24/7, 365 occupation. So
and it takes years for those trees to get to where they're supposed to be.
Long-range planning. It's not regular crops. You plant them in the spring and harvest in the fall, but trees, it's decades for sure. Anyway, we'll talk more about it in just a little bit and maybe dip back in on the Capitol tree in a couple of minutes. You're watching Wisconsin Weather Experts on Fox Local. All right, welcome back on this very cold Thursday morning. We appreciate you staying in and watching Fox Local and checking out the show today. There's a lot going on, of course, on our planet and also outside of our planet.
Yes, this is the time where we are eyeing our full moon. Get ready for another dazzling light show tonight from Mother Nature. You can see the final supermoon of the year. So the so-called cold moon will appear tonight, reaching peak illumination just after 6 p.m. The cold moon gets its name because it's the closest one to the winter solstice. It's also known as the frost moon, the long night moon, and the moon before Yule. Your next chance to see a supermoon that is about a month away on January 3rd.
Been a lot of supermoons of late.
Yeah, seems that way.
And now we go to Mars. So the discovery there, kind of fascinating, dramatically changes the way scientists understand Mars. So it may break down some organic and atmospheric molecules, alerting some, to the overall Martian atmosphere, right? I mean, we talk a lot about Earth's atmosphere. It's literally, Steph, and our job. But the Martian atmosphere is a very different thing, and this is some new clues. Scientists have been looking for electrical activity on Mars for half a century, and they say they may have seen some sparks in the dust storms on Mars that they picked up. It's amazing the clarity of some of these images too.
Agreed. We've come a long way, and it's just fascinating still to know what's happening out there, Right,
and to learn more about, the current climate and atmosphere of Mars, and also maybe a bit about its past. There are some speculations that there once was water on Mars and flowing liquid water, not the frozen water, and that then the question becomes, well, what happened to it?
Right.
And does it help us learn how our planet might evolve or how our climate might change down the road? So the discovery of this spark in these dust storms is kind of interesting. Just wanted to share the pictures with you, if nothing else. Now, when you're done with today's episode of WWE, you can get even more weather fun from our regional podcast called The Isobar, the highs and lows of meteorology. There's a new episode that dropped yesterday. Here's a quick clip.
Bear roll around like we're checking out at the Brookfield Zoo.
I was just gonna say,
that bear knows how to love winter.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how did you get this video of me? So this is at Brookfield Zoo, and as you can see, the animals here locally were loving the snowfall as well. This guy looks like he could get up and move a little bit. He looks like he's been sitting there for a while.
Yeah, so obviously the zoo's another great spot to go to. We have a Milwaukee County Zoo here. I know you've got a great zoo in Detroit as well, Rich. That's it's always fun to watch how the animals react.
It is good. In fact, the Detroit Zoo, they put on a whole light display, so it's not just the animals in the winter environment, but it's the lights and it's the season, and of course the treats along the way.
Oh, I love it. One of the best places to be during the winter.
Oh, yeah. Go check out the zoo.
Yeah,
and sometimes it's animals that wouldn't necessarily interact with that level of cold
Right.
or snow. So obviously the zookeepers are very mindful of that. But watching them have fun in the snow is definitely a whole new level of fun, for sure.
Got that right. And where can we see that?
That's on Fox Local. Thanks for asking.
Yeah.
And, of course, on our Fox 6 YouTube page. You can check it out anytime you want. It goes live here on our Fox Local every Wednesday at 6, and then after that, of course, you can get repeats whenever you like. So check that out. Keep watching this show, though. Don't move to that show until we're done with this show, okay? We might even check back in with the tree lighting. We do have all that information on the tree, the history of the Christmas tree, coming up in just a bit.
everybody, to Wisconsin weather experts.
All right, and right out of the gates, I'm just going to apologize. We talked a little bit too much in our last segment, so we don't have time for the complete history of Christmas trees. I promise to put it in tomorrow's show. Join us for tomorrow's show. It is worth the wait, I promise you. It's a really interesting deep dive into a very long legacy family Christmas tree farm, but it's like 7 minutes, so we don't want to cut it short. Please join us for that tomorrow. I do have a Christmas tree, though, for you. It wouldn't be holiday season without the tree at the Rockefeller Center. Crews there lit up the 75-foot tall Christmas tree last night. Ceremony featured performances by Kristen Chenoweth, Brad Paisley, and the Radio City Rockettes.
Gorgeous.
Look at that. Oh, it's beautiful. The tree is a Norway spruce from upstate New York and features 50,000 LED lights, along with the iconic Swarovski star on top.
Really, that star stands out. It's like an orb.
Yeah, that's a good point. And that's the same kind of crystal they use for the New Year's Day
the
ball drop,
right?
Yeah. Swarovski crystal is one of the best in the world.
They always do such a great job. I wonder how long it takes them to decorate this thing.
I would imagine that's like
weeks,
days and weeks. It's probably a full-time job because the planning that goes into it before and then starting to plan after as well must be at least a part-time job, because it's not something you can just be like, hey, who wants to decorate the tree?
And there's no green showing. Have you? Like,
no.
Everything is covered in
they
lights.
Got every. I remember the year there was like a stowaway.
Oh,
there was like a little
owl
owl or something in there.
There's a book about that now.
Oh, no way.
That I own. That's really cute. Highly recommend.
There
it's adorable.
You go. Hey, if you're willing to get outside in the cold and bundle up enough, and who knows, maybe it'll warm up in time for the drone show. They're becoming a lot more popular in southeastern Wisconsin. So there's one on Milwaukee's lakefront. Of course, we had that on the 4th of July. Now there's one that's brewing this holiday season, and it's returning to the lakefront. U.S. Cellular is hosting a free drone show on Saturday, this 13th. Maybe be a little warmer by then. It'll be at Veterans Park at 5 p.m. Youth from the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Milwaukee are creating artwork for the show, so you can check that out.
And it's nice. Earlier we talked about the fact that this is so much earlier than the 4th of July drone show. So I think this will be very popular. You know, a lot of people a lot of families, I think, with younger kids will be able to enjoy it. Because, you know, you think of the 4th of July, you have to wait until it gets darker. That's, 8, 9 p.m.
That's a good point,
late.
This time of year, you can get those drones up there like 4 in the afternoon.
Right,
it's getting dark by 4:30. So check that out. It's on the 13th as well.
It's just fascinating.
Yeah, I think it's a really cool, I mean, in a way, it's like, I think it's an improvement for fireworks. I love fireworks. Don't write me any nasty grams. But I'm not like saying it negative, but I like it because it doesn't have the shock value. Kids with like sensory issues, they can enjoy it. Dogs can enjoy it. Because, I'm sure yours is the same. Marty hates the 4th of July firework noises. So it's a little bit more friendly. I don't know if we have time to dip back into the Capitol to see how the tree lighting ceremony is going on there, but perhaps we can leave you with a little image. They're doing some talking and reading about everything going on. The learning tree is going to be lit today. We've had the carolers up there, and we're getting some great speeches. And of course, this is all in the Capitol Rotunda for the day today. Just another marker on the season of everything that's coming up for the big holiday season.
Absolutely. Another tree that always looks gorgeous. It's always such a fun and meaningful ceremony. So hopefully, I know we won't get it in this show, but I'm sure we'll have pictures and video of that as the day goes on.
Oh, yes. Yeah, check us out. And check out our website or social media once they light it up. I'm sure we'll have a clip to share with you there. Of course, Hanukkah's even closer. It's just down the road. So the beautiful menorahs will be lighting up over the days ahead. So it is the holiday season for a reason. There's a ton of great things going on, and we appreciate you spending some time with us today. Stay warm out there. Tomorrow we'll have the tree package. I promise.
Stay tuned.
Sorry we got chatty.
We'll see you then.